The year was 1642, when a boatload of religious zealots and puritanical snobs landed in what is now New Haven, Connecticut. One falsity that the Yale elite and their Illuminati brethren love to push is that this nation was founded as a sanctuary of religious freedom. What they fail to explain, however, is that the Puritans were only interested in the freedom to put everyone in a 50-mile radius to sleep, with hours-long sermons about the evils of laughter and whatever medicine existed at the time. Chief among the founders of New Haven were Reverend John Davenport, a man whose only dream in life was to create a theocratic hellscape in which to discomfort and inconvenience everyone else. Theophilus Eden, a wealthy merchant and the colony's first governor, who spent his life professionally successful but with a stupid name. And Abraham Pearson Sr., a Puritan so pure he also founded some of the nation's other most beloved towns, like Long Island and Newark, New Jersey. But to me, these men are better known as my grandpappy, my grandpappy, and my grandpappy. And at this point, you're probably thinking, Beth, you are brilliant, beautiful, talented, and obviously descended from waspy colonial greatness. But how does any of this entitle you to the entire endowment of an Ivy League university? Allow me to explain. For centuries, Yale and the godless heathens of Connecticut have taunted my family with the disgraceful and ill-gotten mythology of their founding. I intend to set the record straight. My great-grandfathers didn't simply found a colony, they founded the entire concept of education. Now, some critics will note that universities existed before the 1600s, to which I say, yes, but they were European and therefore dumb and irrelevant. Yale, however, was meant to be something completely different. Dreamt up by Reverend Davenport during a fit of religious psychosis, Yale was originally called the Collegiate School, which is admittedly the stupidest possible name for a university, but this was the 1600s and he was probably half dead from cholera or rabies or something. Either way, the collegiate school was not founded on the modern-day ideals of liberal arts and females learning from books. Its sole purpose was to indoctrinate already pious young men into joining the clergy and prepare them to sentence their loved ones to death for laughing or smiling or something. Beyond Davenport's contributions, my ninth great uncle, Abraham Pearson Jr., originally ran the school out of his kitchen, where he would stuff 30 or 40 young men at a time into close quarters while forcing my great aunt to cook and clean up after them. My ancestors founded a misogynistic homeschool cult, and today's arbiters of wokeness have muddied the vision by introducing co-ed dorms and wall-hung porcelain urine receptacles, colloquially referred to as urinals. No Puritan worth his belt and buckles would expose their God-fearing genitalia publicly, or even privately to their own wife. That's actually why the righteous founders of New Haven have produced so few descendants when compared to the inbred hillbillies of nearby Plymouth. Nevertheless, Yale still insists on keeping 2 colleges named after my family in using their images in their far-left propaganda machine. This is why I have decided to sue them for my rightful inheritance of $44.1 billion. The distribution of such a sum frankly seems not nearly enough to undo 400 years of hardship and oppression imposed upon the families of Anglo-Saxon aristocrats, whose only crimes were the displacement of indigenous peoples and creating oat milk. Speaking of oats, on behalf of my Quaker ancestors, I have decided to include the University of Pennsylvania into my lawsuit for the disgraceful ways they've propagandized my first cousin, William Penn, hereby referred to as Cousin Bill the Quaker. This was not a man who ate oatmeal. This was a man who founded Pennsylvania or something. I don't know. Neither one of these schools accepted me despite my legacy origins. I have included that as a separate grievance in the petition. But the point is, thanks to the contribution of my ancestors alone, this world has been gifted presidents, billionaires, war criminals, and one man who is all 3. And it's high time I think I get what's coming to me for my part in all of this. Thank you.